welcome back for another grocery haul video. So this week I'm going to show you what I've bought at the commissary for the week, and I also want to talk to you a little bit about easy ways to save money at the grocery store, which I know everybody is always looking to do, including me. This is what I bought this week in terms of canned goods, and it looks like a lot, but what I've tried to focus on here is buying foods that are both inexpensive and also really nutrient dense. So I'm not focusing on buying like canned soups and other things like that. These are all things that are inexpensive to buy and are also pretty good for you. I do try to check the sodium content on canned goods when I buy them. You can see, for example, that my beans are reduced sodium here. And I also try to read labels, especially with things like tomato sauce, which can get really, really salty. If you buy something like beans that aren't low sodium, or if they're higher than you'd like, you can always rinse them off. Like beans come in liquid that you typically don't use in a recipe anyway. My other canned good that I almost forgot is a can of pineapple chunks. And we do a lot of different things with this. It's really good over vanilla ice cream, or you can add Cool Whip or plain or vanilla yogurt to it. And this one also comes in pineapple juice, so I'm actually going to drain the juice out of it when I open this for a dessert. And I'm going to mix the pineapple juice in with orange juice to make kind of a different juice for the mornings. Here are the carbs that I bought for the week. I normally get whole wheat, like multigrain tortillas, and they were out this time, so I got the plain ones, but I went ahead and made sure that I bought smaller ones. These are taco size as opposed to enchilada size, and that way you aren't getting quite as many empty, simple carbs. So I've also went ahead and bought some bagels. I would have preferred whole grain, but these at least have raisins in them, so I'm going to pretend they're a little more healthy. And these are for out-the-door breakfast for days when I'm working next week. I've been making breakfast sandwiches in the morning with an English muffin and either turkey bacon or Morningstar Farms veggie sausage, but I thought that this would be something easy and different that would still get me out the door really quick, so I'm not eating the same thing every single week. And then I've got orzo pasta. This is for our lunch soup for next week. Again, I would have preferred whole wheat, but they didn't have it in this particular shape. If you've never used orzo before, they almost look like grains of rice, although they get pretty plump when you cook them. And it's something that's great, you can even see in the picture here, for using for soups and other things like that. I wouldn't really recommend making a bowl full of pasta with this because it'd be a little difficult to eat because they're small, but this is something that goes really well in a lot of Italian style soups. And then this is for an emergency dinner. I just got mac and cheese, and one of the great things about this costs less than half of the one with the packet of cheese sauce that I normally buy, and you have to add your own milk and butter to it. But that's one of my easy tips for saving money at the grocery store, is not to spend extra money on something that you can do yourself. I didn't need a whole lot of dairy this week, so I've just got provolone cheese for a casserole, and some country crock, which is margarine, and I just read, the shelf again, and this was the brand that was the cheapest per ounce, so I got that. Then I've got some lower fat cream cheese. This is to put on my bagels. And then I've also got some milk right here. They were actually out of skim milk, which is what I've been buying, but this should be fine for the week. Here's my produce for the week, and there's a couple of important lessons in terms of saving money for produce. First of all, you need to be aware of how much your family's actually going to eat in a week. It can be really tempting if something looks pretty to buy more than you'll actually be able to consume before it goes bad. And you also want to be paying attention to how much stuff you're buying that's really perishable. Things that go bad really quickly, like some of the more delicate kinds of lettuce, berries, things like that, you want to buy in moderation, not only because they tend to be more expensive because they're difficult to get to the market without spoiling, but they're also something where your possibility of having them go bad and wasting your money is pretty high. So I've stuck with things that are going to last a little bit longer and be a little bit easier to deal with. So I bought these. They're clementines. I actually had one of them today for lunch, and they're very, very sweet and juicy and good. So this is some nice, easy fruit that I can consume during my short little lunch period without running out of time. And then I've got zucchini. You guys know that I love zucchini, and so I'm going to be making a couple different dishes with this week. And then I've also got a thing of carrots. And I talked about this before, but I spent 58 cents on, let's see, this is a kilogram of carrots. And for twice that much, I could have gotten a little bag that was maybe 6 ounces of baby carrots, and I'm going to cut them into carrot sticks myself, and I'm going to get a whole lot more to snack on than if I had bought the baby carrots. So then I've got an onion. Onions, don't keep them in the fridge until you cut into them. They do great in the windowsill and they tend to keep pretty long there as well. And then I've got cauliflower, which is probably the most delicate thing that I bought. And this is gonna go into an Italian dish in place of noodles, which sounds a little strange, but all right, my last little section is not something that I normally do, but I needed a couple different things for like my spices, and so I decided to put these together. So I bought little disposable salt and pepper shakers when I bought here, and they're both almost done. So I got a tin of pepper. I think this is really cool. It's an actual tin, and I haven't seen one of those in a long time. So I've got pepper. I've got iodized salt. You do always want to go with iodized. Iodized is very good for preventing goiters. And there's something that you see people get sometimes where they get really swollen in their neck. So the iodized is good for you. And then we've got chicken bouillon. I always make sure to buy the sodium free. And then I cut apart the little packets that come in here and put them in a jar that I have. So I just keep replenishing the jar. And then I got some chamomile tea. I love to drink chamomile tea at night. It's my favorite herbal tea, and I find that it's very relaxing. So it's something great to have in the evening if you've had a crazy day, or if you are looking ahead at a day, the next day that's going to be kind of crazy. And this is my little treat for the week. You can see we've already been in this. I like to take a little something sweet in my lunchbox when I go to work. And the reason for that is that in case if I start to feel tired or unwell during the day, it's just kind of a little quick pick-me-up. I would normally have something like this or maybe a box of granola bars in my desk drawer. And because I'm working as a sub, I don't have a set place where I can keep personal things. So putting them in my lunchbox is great. And I like the Kisses because A, you get a lot in the bag, and B, because they're very small. So taking 2 or 3 of these, you can have them at different points or only have one and save the rest for another day. All right, so those are my groceries for the week and also a few tips about ways to save money. Remember to always make sure not to overbuy, especially if you have a smaller family like I do. I find that I have to be a lot more careful about the quantity of things that I buy. You also want to pay special attention to things that go bad really quickly, like lettuce and berries, to make sure that you are only buying what you will eat before they go bad, because otherwise you're essentially throwing out that money. You also want to make sure that if there's anything that's simple that you can do yourself instead of having pre-done, it's amazing how much money this can save you. It can be something as simple as having a cheese shredder and shredding your own cheese instead of buying the bags that have already been pre-shredded for you. Because what happens is, I know that at least at the commissary, I can get 8 ounces of pre-shredded cheese for the same price as 10 ounces of block cheese and then shred it myself, which adds almost no time to my preparation. And it also tends to make me eat a little bit less cheese, which is always good for your waistline, because I actually have to slow down and shred it, and I tend to stop and think a little bit, is this enough? As opposed to having it already there and putting on another handful feels like no effort at all. So make sure that you are looking for easy ways to do things yourself. And make sure that if you have any questions about money or about ways to cut down on your grocery bill, that you're asking them below. I'm one of those people where, you know, we have good times, we have bad times money-wise, and that's like everybody, you know? So there's definitely some times when I'm saving money because I can, and there's other times when I'm definitely working on cutting down on our grocery bill because things are tight and we need to. So make sure that you aren't spending money that you don't have to spend, because, you know, why should you pay more for stuff that you're not going to use, or, you know, be disorganized and forget your coupons and pay more that somebody's paying less for, which is just silly. So there are ways to eat very healthy, to eat to lose weight, that aren't going to put a huge dent in your monthly budget. So that is what I bought. That is what I do. And that is just me talking a little bit about money. I hope that this was helpful. You know, your food budget is such a huge part of the money that you spend day to day. So you always want to make sure that you are organized, that you're not overbuying, and that you are doing anything that you can yourself that isn't going to take up a huge chunk of your time. So sit down, make yourself a grocery list, get organized for the next week, and stick to that list when you get to the store. Make sure that you're never shopping hungry, because then you will absolutely not be able to live without one of all sorts of things that are empty calories that are going to waste your budget. So have a great week. Make sure you let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, everybody.